Jeez. Tell you guys are rocking in here, huh? Ready to go?
Maybe.
Come on, Brad. You matched today, huh, Brad? Huh? Get the matching mask and the flannel. How's everybody doing?
Good. How are you?
Awesome, man. Great. Friday.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So we had a good Friday practice, red zone practice. Got out there. It's beautiful outside, and I think it was a good day. So I'll go ahead and let you guys shoot away with questions.
What happened with Tashawn Gibson this week?
Yeah, he
Practice?
yeah he got hurt in practice. Just did his hamstring in practice. So it's unfortunate, but that's how it goes.
So it's looking
Yeah. Yeah, he's listed as
at
doubtful.
this point. Okay.
Yeah, we didn't see Eddie out there either. What is his status?
Yeah, he's going to be day to day. You know, he's something that you know, we're just gonna that literally with him is a day to day deal. It's been week to week. It's day to day, and I think for him, just making sure that we have him where we want him, and he feels to how he wants to feel, and all that. So he'll be, you know, for us, it'll probably end up being a game time decision.
So is he going to be listed doubtful or questionable?
He's listed as where is he at here? I'll tell you right here. Questionable. Questionable. Yeah, I always get between that doubtful and questionable stuff. You know what I mean?
Is there a level of frustration with this situation with Eddie?
Zero. Nope. Zero frustration.
I think he's told us in the past, correct me if I'm wrong, that he gets sick a lot. Is there, are you aware of that?
No, I'm not. I mean, he had a little illness, and I think there's a lot of people right now that are kind of going through that bug. At least it seems like it. So that's where he's at, and that's where he was for practice, or was not for
In
practice.
the COVID world, how much more careful are you guys today than you would have been 2 or 3 years ago if somebody was not feeling well?
We're careful in trying to figure out, making sure that it's not COVID, you know, so getting tested and all that. But for the most part, this is probably the most challenging times right now is when everyone goes through the sniffles and has the sinus stuff, and they, you know, with everything that we're going through. So you try to see what they don't do as well and what we do well. You match it together, and you try to keep that going. I mean, it's early in the year right now. It's only 2 games in for them, so those stats can drastically change, as can anything. But I just know that for us, we feel like this year, for us, it's been better than previous years on third down, you know, and that's important. We want to have a good percentage of success rate. And, you know, regardless of whether you're a great third down defense or not so great, we want to just make sure that we're putting in the right stuff.
Matt, a lot of teams in this situation with their quarterback, and they go to the backup quarterback, it's a clear step down. In this case, it's not necessarily a lesser quarterback, and it is a quarterback who brings some strengths to the table that Dalton doesn't have. Are you excited by the opportunity to have some different elements to work with?
Yeah,
As a play caller, as someone who's making the plan for Sunday.
So there's a little bit of both to that, Jason. And what I mean by that is, so they're different style quarterbacks. They're different style in their physical traits. They're different style in their mental traits, right? One has a lot of experience, has been in a lot of games, a lot of hostile environments. The other one, this will be his first truly in the NFL, where it's a week of prep and going. So, but then also you got a guy like Justin that we all have seen in college and now here in Chicago. The traits that he has when he escapes the pocket, the way that defense has got a plan for who he is because of his speed as a quarterback. That's rare at the quarterback spot to be able to throw like he can and do that. So there is excitement for us. With that said, as your backup when he comes in like that, you know, sometimes you can get in a position in that quarterback room where you have a guy that doesn't have all that, you know, doesn't have the experience, doesn't have the traits, and it can be difficult.
So Matt, what are both the risks and the reward of being either too aggressive or too conservative with him?
Yeah. Too aggressive with that, you can get to a point where, depending on what the scheme is or what you're doing, if you don't have success, then you got to be careful of how that affects their mentality throughout the rest of the game and in moving forward. Being too conservative can speak the same thing or can do the same thing where you're not taking chances to see. And this is a kid and a player that we love, that has played in big time games and big time moments. So like that part of it going into this game, I think that's probably one of his greatest strengths is the preparation. But then when you're in the moment, it's easy to act like you're cool, calm, and collected. But when you're actually in the moment, that's where I think for being a young kid like he is, that's a strength. So we get together. We're going to get together here in the next, couple hours and go through and talk through. Now, we just went through a full week of practice. We just got to see what you did well and maybe things we got to get better at. And now, if there's something that we struggled with that we learned this week, that will literally come off the sheet. And if there's something that he did well, that'll stay on and show up early.
So is part of your challenge then to read the energy, the mood, whatever you want to call it, of the other 10 guys before you take chances with him?
Yes, maybe a little bit to feel where they're at, but at the same time, I mean, you got to give Justin opportunities to be able to make plays, and they're going to make plays if we give him opportunities. They know too that they got, as much as he's going to have their back, they got to have his back. They got to pick him up too. This is his first time, and is everything going to be perfect? No, there's going to be a play where it doesn't go right. How are those guys going to help him out? And they've been. I'll say this too. Nick and Andy have been so great in the post-practice meetings that we have, being coaches in there. I wish you guys could all see, and ladies, see what it's all about in that room. I mean, it's pretty neat, and the way that they're teaching him and helping him, it's different. It's rare.
Is the plan for Andy to travel and be on the sideline?
Yes.
We're free if you want to hang out, if you want us to. None of your quarterbacks since you've been a play caller have been this type of quarterback. Did it unlock something in you creatively when you started to imagine and think of what you could do with somebody like this?
Yeah, to that I would say yeah, in the fact that when Ryan and I started this process, you start looking at the quarterbacks that are in this draft, and you start evaluating their strengths and weaknesses. And when you see, I can go back to where Coach Day at Ohio State, when we talked about the comment that he made to me about generational talent. When you put a person or a quarterback that can throw the ball like he can, but can run like he can, and has the ability to process and the want and the fire, the competitiveness, all that together, that's why you go get him. And so now, when we were able to get him, now okay, when it is his time, there's going to be a lot of good stuff that we can do with this offense. But that does take a little bit of time, and you see that as you go. There's little things that we're learning too. Like this week, with him getting all the reps in practice, there's things that we're seeing that maybe we didn't see in the first 2 weeks because he wasn't getting those 1 reps. And that part is good. That's healthy, because now as long as we take that to him and say, hey, listen, when you do this, this, or that, this is what you got to get a little bit better at. This is what you're doing well, right? Let's go back and watch the tape and see why you were a little bit late on this throw. And for him, all he's doing is just these building blocks of a foundation of how he's getting better. That's the beauty of him having these great reps in practice, which is what he wasn't getting, but now he has an opportunity to do it, so we got to take advantage of it.
So does your mind start spinning while you're watching college film in February? Does it start spinning while you're before the draft, after the draft? When do you sit there and go, oh, maybe I should do this? Just kind of.
Well, that kind of happens all the time in regards to when you're looking at these different players. You find some plays and concepts that you like that fit. So not just for a specific player, but at the same point in time, you have a player that has been in a certain system and has done concepts well. You might lean towards some of that stuff. And then you get excited because there might be some things that he can do that other quarterbacks can't. And that's probably the difference, is when you have that. But that goes back to what Hub was asking. Like, you have to be careful on how much you do with a guy that's that talented, because sometimes it can be either paralysis by analysis, right? There's just too much, and then you can't play fast. And that's where we got to have a balance with that. But you can't also be so vanilla to where in the NFL these teams will eat you alive if you're too vanilla.
You mentioned Ohio State. Do you imagine he's going to have a sympathetic crowd in the state of Ohio?
Maybe a little bit. I know those Buckeye fans are wild, so they might have a little feel for them. But I know they like their Browns too.
Man, offensive coaches, like yourself, seem to love the element of surprise. Having something that the defense has not seen. I'm sure there's trepidation with a rookie, but has that been a fun week for you? Has that been something different for you to be able to spring something on the Browns that they obviously, haven't really
Yeah, there's always some unscouted things that will happen, but that's kind of every week. And you saw when Andy was starting that you saw there were some things that we were doing as well with Justin as the backup, being able to put in certain plays. But now that he's the starter, you know, it depends how a defense looked at him when he was in the game as a backup. They might have looked at him as a runner all the time, and now that he's a starter, they might look at him. They have to look at him differently. So, but when you're scheming and when you're starting the week of what you want to do, you want to make sure that whatever you're doing, these guys can play fast. And it all starts at that quarterback position. And we'll take feedback from the players. If we have too much in or we think there's something that's just not right, then we'll eliminate that so these guys can play fast.
So is the unknown an advantage or disadvantage from a, yes?
No, I think it's an advantage.
Planning.
Yeah, it's an advantage. And then as you get in the game, you can see are some of the things that might be unscouted or some of the things that they don't have on tape with them. Is it working? And then you're going to obviously test that until they stop it.
Jason Peters brought up Michael Vick just in terms of the blocking adjustments. You know, he was going back to 2013 with Foles and Vick. I know you brought up Vick before, just about the speed that Justin has. Is there anything that you took from your time with him in Philadelphia that just because of the similar traits they have? I want to be careful not comparing the two players, but just their similar skill sets.
Well, the similar skill sets are they're both super talented with their arm and their legs, that's rare to be as talented as they are. The one beautiful thing about Justin that I love Michael Vick to death, but that guy Michael could not slide. So when he's out in the pocket or he's running or they cover zero you, if you cover zero and you miss on cover zero, they're gone, right? And we lived that in the one season against the Giants when they did that to Michael. And so, but you got to also learn how to not take those extra hits, and Justin has that. So at the same point in time, what I love about Justin is that he has the ability to process these plays and learn in meetings, see stuff on tape, take it out to the practice field, and put it into action. And then if it's not right, try to fix it and improve it the next day. So we've had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, where in my opinion, he's gotten better every day, just a little bit. And so that's all you want to see from him is just a little bit of slightly improved every day.
What's the most important improvement he made?
Probably some of the timing with the wide receivers and the tight ends, just the offense in general. That's natural. You guys have all brought it up when you're in preseason and you don't have the timing, or even with Andy, he didn't have some of the timing with the guys. So I would start there. But the other part is this, is when you're a backup quarterback and you're running the look team, it's very easy to just go out and cut it loose. And we say, like, play like you're throwing the cards, meaning whatever cards they show, you got to throw it to that guy. And you can go out and cut it loose and have fun and just let it rip. And then all of a sudden you become the starter, and now you got to run these plays. And what happens is you can naturally, this isn't Justin, but this is everybody, you naturally, instinctively just you lose a little bit of that. So the goal is always play like you're throwing the cards when you're the starter, right? Let it cut it loose. So I would say where he improved is his confidence from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. In that area, the game felt a little slower. His confidence improved in and out of the huddle, the break, whatever it was, and then the throws. So, and then the other part of this too that I think is great is his teammates, when they're in that huddle and when they're out there at practice, they know that he's going what he's going through right now, and they're his greatest ally because they're supporting him, helping him, and giving him confidence, and we're going to need that more than ever on game day.
Two more. How old is he?
Of a what?
Odell.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to play.
Yeah.
How old was he about his throwing arm from a couple years ago?
Well, yeah, I remember that play, and it was a great throw, and he's a rare talent. We all know that. It's unfortunate he got hurt last year, but he's an elite wide receiver that has some of the greatest hands ever in the history of this game, and he's a great route runner. And so anytime you bring a player like that to their offense, you got to know where he's at, and then, of course, he can throw the ball too, so you got to be alert for gadgets.
How significant is the situation with Darnell Mooney?
I feel good with Darnell. Yeah. All right, guys. Take care.
Right.
Nothing. We're waiting on you, buddy. Close the door. Oh, fire away.
David, any eagerness to see what Justin Fields' first start is going to be about? This
Hold on, I'm sorry. Mooney got a little bag going. All right, come on.
Why did you have to do those push-ups?
He beat me in bowling.
What?
He beat me in bowling.
You haven't even played Patsy yet, though, have you?
He's scared. I'm waiting on him.
Oh, that's not true. That's never true. That has never been true for a day in his life, David. No.
Are you sidekick?
He's just his hype
No,
man.
I know
Hype
about-
man is
I know
all.
about-
I need to get me one now.
Time and place.
Patsy almost worked for the Bowling Hall of Fame.
See, almost don't ever cut it.
His only response to you is time and place, man. That's it.
Why don't I hear you talking? I'm waiting for you to throw me some shots so we can go do this.
I'm a silent assassin.
We get hooked. That'd be easy for me.
Hey, my son bowled a 299 this weekend. I taught him everything he knows.
You know what? I don't want to see him then. Jeez. Okay, I'm done talking smack to you. You win. Yeah, it's been good. That's good. He's great. He's like I always say. He come in with the winning mentality. He got like the mentality to make everybody else around him, and he's so composed and calm. I never seen anyone. You would think like from a magnifying glass, he'd have so much pressure on him just being in the position that he is. But like he's so calm and composed, and he just taking every rep as it's a game rep, and it's very cool to see. Yeah, of course. It definitely contagious. Justin being who he is, being able to get off that order to let us know like we're fine, we're gonna be just good. Excited to get out there with the kids.
What do you think his speed might do to open up the running attack for you?
I hope that it's going to help, and I'm sure it will. Justin is a dangerous weapon with his arm and with his legs as well. So I'm also excited to see that as well. So
The hope is he keeps the defensive ends honest, more or less.
yeah, I hope so.
David,
David,
how familiar,
especially on those read options, do you notice that it holding the linebackers a little bit?
Hold on. You first, go ahead.
how familiar are you with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt? Do you ever compare yourself to the opposing running backs or the better running backs in the league?
Nah, I never try to compare myself. Those guys are definitely special. Just those two being on the same team they're very special. Kareem Hunt, me and my college coach, his name is Louis Ian. He coached him when he was at Toledo. So we've talked before. He's a pretty cool guy. Me and Nick have talked a couple times as well. So those guys are great in talent and they're special. But I try to stay within my game. Trying to compare myself to anybody because everybody is made differently and they have different skill sets.
You and Chubb are at the top of the league in yards after contact over last season and this season. Is that a competition that you'd like to win?
I didn't even know that. So, yeah. He next.
No, you're just talking about the holes opening up more. Do you notice that holds the defense more when Justin Fields is running those read options?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's when you got a kind of guy who has that kind of like skill set in using his legs, you have to respect it. So, like I said, I'm excited to see that's going to bring to the field on Sunday.
Is there any extra challenge for you with that when on those read options, was he holding the ball in there so long and you got to know when to take it, when not to?
Sort of, because I was in the quarterback position as well. So it's really not that bad. When I was in high school, I did it all the time, so I kind of know like the mesh point.
David, when you look at this Browns defense, who hasn't allowed a 45-yard rusher, what kind of stands out about this unit?
They got two great edge rushers. Clowney and Miles. So it's definitely gonna be a challenge for us. They're a good defense, so it's gonna go out there and just handle it and do what we know we capable of doing.
Iowa State, were the Chiefs your local team that you got on TV on Sundays? If so,
Yeah.
Was Hunt, did you watch Hunt then?
Yeah.
What was that, just, I mean, before you ever made it in the NFL, did you look at him and dream a little bit or anything like that?
Nah, I mean, I've always had my own dream of going to the NFL. But seeing him get coached by the same coach that I did was definitely it's refreshing, and at the same time, it give you like a lot of hope to say like, okay, he coached this kind of caliber back. Now he's coaching me, so I got to take every point and every coaching point that he gives me as serious as I can, because he helped a guy like him.
Thank you.
Brown said today that Odell Beckham is good to go Sunday. What does he do well? What do you guys have to do to try to slow him down?
He do a lot of good things. Got a game plan for him. I don't know what he's going to be used as specifically this year. Just watching old film and stuff. He's a playmaker. He's a gamer. He do a lot of different things. Stretch the field deep, reverse. Trickery play. So we just got to stay on top of our keys.
Eddie, obviously, you don't want to see a starter go down, but does it help that you have Dion and DeAndre that have been with the defense for a while, been with you for a while, in terms of making that transition a little easier?
Yeah. Like you said, it hurts, especially see a guy like Gip, go down, and but knowing that Bush and DAC is behind us, like we kind of, that comfort is still there, knowing the game, knowing how we play, we practice with them, so just still having that type of chemistry.
What's due for you guys, your position room this week, knowing the way the Browns use their tight ends?
We just got to be on top of our keys. Just go out there, don't try to do too much. Just do your job. Take care of the guy in front of you, and just make plays.
The performance where you guys create 4 takeaways. What's the vibe of the defense for this whole week of practice?
It's just the same. Don't get complacent. Just stay in the course. Everyone going out there still doing what we're doing. We just got to continue to feed out this. The last game, just going out there and doing what we did is this type of plays that defense is able to make. So we knowing that, just want to continue to feed off that every week.
What did you learn about your defense by fixing some of the mistakes in week one? What was the difference between week one and week two?
I mean, it was technically the same. You know, we just went out there with a lot of miscues. We just tightened down on little things like that. You know, just put our trust in each other. No one didn't panic. You know, that's the good thing about us. You know, no one panicked. No one pointed fingers. We just continue to stay and rally around each other and just continue to go out there and you see what the result was.
Did you feel like you needed to bounce back after week one?
Oh yeah, most definitely, most definitely. I mean, that wasn't us. You know, so you know, you always want to bounce back off a game like that for sure.
Eddie, with a team that runs the ball as well as Cleveland, so depending on it, how difficult is it to avoid catching yourself coming up too soon, freezing, focusing on that backfield, making sure that you've got both your run and pass assignments covered?
I just got to stay tight to your keys. We know that's what they love to do is run the ball and try to get us in play action and stuff like that. So for us in the back end, just got to stay on our keys. And our front, we just got to take care of the run. Or if you're down in the box, just do your job and don't try to do too much. This is the type of game where you got to have your eyes in the right spot and, don't try to do too much. Just do your job, take care of the man in front of you. Oh, yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. I wish him the best. You got to step up, next man up, so. You ready for it?
I don't know whether this is something you would do, but do you go up to him and say, hey, I remember my first start, do you try and give him any advice? Or, I mean, he doesn't seem like he needs to be told to calm down or anything.
Yeah, Justin's a calm dude. He takes everything that's coming at him, even though it's probably coming a little fast, but, he takes it and handles it well. So for a guy like that, you really don't go up. I'll probably say something during the game. Like, I know I said something to him, like, you just got to get comfortable. You're like, yes. Things like that, but he's calm, and I feel like he's ready.
How reassuring is it to see a rookie who doesn't seem to be kind of intimidated by the moment?
It's good. Like I said, man, we feel comfortable with him in the game. Just the type of confidence we have in both quarterbacks. He's a younger guy. Like I said, he does a lot of great things. At an early age in his career. So excited to see him play Sunday.
Hey, what kind of challenges does Baker Mayfield present to this entire defense?
He's tough. He can make a lot of throws, a lot of different throws, stretch plays, extend plays. He has a very strong arm, and he's good with his feet. So for us in the back end, we just got to take care of it. The rush and pass going to have to work together this week for sure to keep those guys and keep him, contained. So that's, we up for the challenge.
Hey, one of the biggest differences between the Rams and the Bengals was the pressure you guys got up front. When you see that that's happening consistently in front of you, does that allow you or cause you to be a little more aggressive in coverage as well?
Oh, yes, sir, most definitely, most definitely. That's one of the things, you get into a quarterback at a certain time, now a certain players the offense can run. Now if you got a little more time, now you got to cover a little longer. So for us in the back end, when we know our rush is getting there, that's for us to, break on balls and, the quick game is coming and stuff like that. The ball got to be out hot. Then if it's no pressure, it's going to be more deeper routes, stuff like that. You got to stay back and things, little things like that.
Eddie, what was last week like for you leading up to the Bengals game? You said you're a leader on this defense. It wasn't what you wanted in week one. What was the week of practice and everything like for you individually?
Just super locked in. All the guys rallied behind us. We know we didn't have the game. The secondary we weren't supposed to have. And I stood up and I took that one. I told the team, the defense, that was on us. I told all the defensive guys, coaches and all, we took that. That week one was on us. We didn't go out there and play our best ball, so we just want to correct that and never let that happen again.
You have your own cereal now. What kind of went into making that happen?
Yeah, it was presented in the off season, man. It was like a surreal feeling when they first asked me. I'm like, of course I have. He's like, what? Like, that's like a dream come true. I don't even think it was a dream. I have a dream about being on a box of cereal, but it's exciting. I love it. My friends and families, everyone loves it. Teammates, everyone around here just continue to talk about it. So it's and the proceeds is going to my foundation. So I'm actually more excited about that part too.
Have some of your teammates actually tried it?
Yeah, some of them tried it. Yeah, they like it too. Local tried it. They all gave me feedback. If it's nasty, they would have told me so.
No, you're all right.